Hi guys, welcome to Soul Connections. I'm your host, Polly Jo Labbe, here as part of Star Nation's radio network, and we're streaming through VLive TV into beautiful Facebook land. So welcome to the show tonight. Soul Connections is all about you connecting with your spiritual team, doing your own healing work. I'm here to hold the sacred container and to help guide the healing as it flows through. And then afterwards, I pull cards for you. So if you would like a message from your spiritual team on what's going on for the next week, all you have to do is type in yes, please. And those of you who are here, you know the drill. If you could love our show and share it out into Facebook land, that would be fantastic. It would help us get out and reach more people who maybe need some inspiration, some guidance tonight, some help on something they're working on. That would be perfect. And you can either put it out in a private message if you know somebody in particular, or a group, or your page, wherever you feel comfortable. We'd really appreciate it. Tonight's deck is the Sacred Earth Oracle deck. And I've used this before. This is Tony Carmen Salerno and Leela Williams come together to collaborate for this. And I was feeling really connected with, there's a lot of things happening on the earth plane right now. The fires and different things that have people wondering about what's going on with Grandmother Earth. And we're all interconnected with that, right? So here we are. And so that's the deck that wanted to be read this evening, and the cards are absolutely beautiful, the artwork. So that's always a big thrill for me. So, that's the big stuff. So I'm going to give us a couple minutes before we start the meditation. And the thing I wanted to remind you is that, I pull the cards in the order that we receive them in the production studio. So it may be a little bit different than the feed that you have. So just be patient, and we will get to you. And thank you to Cooper, who is my co-host, my cohort at the moment. He's my producer of my show. He's flying for the first time, solo for the first time tonight. So thank you for all the hard work that you're doing. So I appreciate that. And all the hard work Neshi has done throughout the years. I'm glad she can have a little break, which is fantastic. So one of the things I kind of wanted to put out there today is, for those of you who don't know already, my other show, Chakra Sessions, is moving. It is moving from Tuesdays at noon to Thursday evenings at 7. It works better for my family schedule. It works better in my teaching schedule for me to do a nighttime show. It's worked for 3 years to do it in the afternoon. But the energy shifted, the energy's changed. And so it's a great time, a new year, new beginnings. So for those of you who want to get some insight into your energy system, how it works, how it impacts your physical or your emotional health, then feel free to check into my show tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, because I'll be starting us off then. So I'm very excited about that as well. So let's take a couple minutes to get ourselves grounded, and we all ground, in our own particular way. And so with that, I'd like you to take a couple of deep breaths. We're going to get ourselves centered and focused, so that the healing energy, the healing messages, all can come through for the good of all and harm to none. And to ground, some people like to use their root chakra near their tailbone and imagine a cord of connection going down through the earth into the center. Or maybe envisioning roots coming out of the bottoms of your feet to hold you like a giant tree. And lately, my spiritual team, has been inviting me to use the heart to ground. So take a moment to connect to your heart and just allow your breath to be centered there. And imagine a cord of connection going from your heart down through your solar plexus, down through your second chakra below your belly button, down through your root chakra near your tailbone, down each of your legs, and all the way down to the very center of the earth, passing rock and crystal, ancient civilizations, all the way to the molten lava center, the heartbeat of Grandmother Earth, and allowing your energy to anchor there. Whether you feel it wrap around something sturdy or you imagine an anchor being created. And gently allowing that cord of connection to gently expand to the size of a cylinder, making room for old energy to be released and for the divine feminine energy to flow to you and through you more easily. And allowing that cylinder to open through your entire system and all the way to your heart. And welcome the divine feminine energy flowing into your heart. And now allowing a cord of connection to go all the way to the divine, beginning at the heart and going through the throat, through the third eye, through the top of the head and the crown, all the way up to the center of creation, to the original divine energy where your soul was first created. And allowing that cord of connection to also stretch to the size of a cylinder, allowing the divine masculine energy to flow to you and through you so that you are grounded above and below. And we're going to create a sacred container. We're going to ask our spiritual teams to surround and protect us in a bubble of infinite love and infinite light. Again, the intention being for all healing and messages to be for the good of all and harm to none, including ourselves. And I welcome in all of your spiritual teams to guide you, to assist you in your own healing work. If you have anything that has been troubling you, or you've had difficulty with, or have had pain, you're welcome to create an intention with your healing, to focus on what you need. And we're going to begin at the crown, and we're going to allow the divine energy to flow in and clear at the same time. And as it does that, it begins by allowing us to expand our connection with the divine, however we perceive that. We may connect to God or Goddess, all that is. And as your spiritual team comes in, welcome in all of your team, your angels, your guides, your ancestors, the star beings, the animal totems, all divine of the highest, fullest, and brightest vibration available to you in this moment. And I invite the divine energy to help us remove any energy that is blocking us from our own connection to ourselves and to our divine spark. Any doubt, any worry, and allowing the energy to begin to move down through the third eye, helping clear our perception, expanding our vision and our ability to see clearly, welcoming all of our senses to work together as a team, to guide us in our life, in our decisions, in our choices. Releasing any pressure in the head and the eyes, anything that has made it difficult to focus or concentrate. And as we begin to open up the energy by the ears, expanding our connection to our spiritual team so that we may hear more clearly the messages that are flowing to us, understand what the symbols and messages may mean, and also helping with our communication with others so that we may be seen and heard more fully, and that we may see and hear others as well. Releasing the tension in the jaw. And making space in the throat for the authentic truth to be spoken and for you to be able to live your authentic truth fully and completely. Releasing the tension and the stress in the back of the neck and the top of the shoulders, where you may have held back your energy, held back what you wanted to say, or felt uncomfortable saying, or a part of yourself that you would love to express that you haven't been able to. Releasing the opinions of others and the weight and burden of carrying the energy. Not only for yourself, but for others. Whether it's for family or for work, all the burdens and responsibilities that have been weighing you down or creating tension in your neck, your upper back, your shoulders. And opening up the shoulder blades and the shoulder sockets so that you have more room for giving and receiving in your life, in your heart. Releasing old wounded energy, old sadness or grief, shame or blame that you've held on to. Gently allowing that to dissolve making room for unconditional love to flow in. And in the heart chambers, in the upper right chamber of the heart, connecting to your inner child, sending healing to that aspect of you, making room for the child to feel safe, nurtured, and loved. And moving into the lower right chamber of the heart and connecting to the inner adult and allowing the adult some room to breathe. A moment of peace from all the doing, giving space for the being. And moving into the lower left chamber of the heart and connecting to the inner warrior, that beautiful advocate that helps keep you safe and is concerned about others as well, giving the warrior a moment of peace and tranquility. Where in this moment right now you are completely held, you are completely safe and secure. Allowing space for you to release the hypervigilance you may be carrying here, even if just for a moment. And moving into the upper left chamber of the heart and connecting to the sage elder within. That part of you that you've carried with you in each and every lifetime, who holds the knowledge from all of those lifetimes, as well as all of the knowledge of humanity. You are simply able to stop and listen. Making room in the heart for joy and happiness and wonder, to fill in all of those spaces with gratitude as well. And moving down into the third chakra, just below the rib cage. Removing any energy that is blocking your self-worth, your self-esteem, and your self-confidence. Any anxiety or worry that has you stretched into the future or pulled back into the past. Inviting all of your energy into this moment now. And allowing space for any old frustration, resentment, anger, or judgment to dissolve out of your organs. Giving the organs space to function freely. Bringing your personal fire into balance. So you have the desire and passion to pursue your dreams, your wishes. and quieting the anger that sometimes can burn the fire down. And moving down through the rest of the abdomen, down to the second chakra. Allowing your digestive tract to flow freely. Connecting to your personal flow. In the way it connects to your physical body through your breathing, through your bloodstream, through your digestive tract. All ways that your body flows. And clearing any energy that is blocking the emotional flow. Creating a safe space for you to feel all of your feelings fully, as they are the radar for your intuition to understand that something is off. And allowing space for the energy to clear between others, your connection to others in relationship, flowing the communication, flowing the connection, restoring all to a healthy balance. And then connecting to the hips, allowing the circuit of manifestation to open and be grounded in both the right and the left sides of your body. And then connecting to the tailbone, into your foundation, the root of your being. And taking an opportunity to release any additional energy that may be causing you pain, have you feeling unsteady, unsafe, insecure, or simply impacting any bones or muscles or tissue in your body. Allowing that energy to move down both legs, through our cord of connection, all the way to the center of the earth. And in the earth center, allowing that released energy to be composted, to create new, beautiful healing energy for the entire planet. And then inviting the divine feminine energy to come up through the cord and fill in all the places where we were willing to release energy that no longer served us, including the cords of connection to others that are unhealthy, draining for us or for them, so that we may come back into balance within our own energy system, thus creating balance for the entire planet. And now allowing that energy to fill in up your feet, your ankles, your shins, up to your knees and your thighs, your hamstrings, filling in your whole pelvic floor. And allowing it to move up your abdomen to your third chakra, allowing all of the organs to be filled with healing love and light. Allowing that energy to flow all the way up into your heart so that the heart can be filled with unconditional love and light, beauty and gratitude. And just allow that heart energy to expand gently to make room for even more love and light to come in. And allow that energy to flow down your arms, your shoulders, into your hands, so that everything that you touch will carry the new, fuller healing energy for you and for others. Allowing the energy to move up through the throat, up the back of the spine, through the top of the head, all the way out through the crown, back up to the divine. And allow that healing energy to radiate out through all the layers of your aura. Imagine it pouring over you and radiating out from your heart center into the physical layer of your body, your energy body, out through the emotional layer, restoring and repairing any tears or holes that may be in the aura from stress or trauma. And out through the mental layer and the spiritual layer as well. And let's take a moment to send healing energy back to the earth. Envision healing love and light filling the heart of the earth so that the healing may radiate outward. To heal the animal kingdom, the plants and the trees, our environment, all of our beautiful homes that may need healing. And also take a moment of gratitude to thank your spiritual team for being present with you this evening as you clear and do your own healing work, creating space for you to stretch into a fuller version of yourself. Now gently bring your attention back to your heart. And in the heart center, inviting all of the excess energy to ground, either below or above, whatever is most aligned with your energy system. Slowly bringing your attention back to the moment, to the present time. You may stretch or yawn or wiggle your fingers or toes, whatever you need. So many of you already know the drill. So I am going to be pulling cards for you from your spiritual teams, guided messages. And tonight's cards are the Sacred Earth Oracle deck. And that's by Tony Carmen Salerno and Leela Williams. And it was very much calling to be read this evening. I think there's a huge need for us to reconnect to our own connection with the earth and what that means. So that's what's shining through this evening. And so if you would like a card drawn, all you have to do is type in yes, please, and we'll make sure to draw one for you. And I will pull them in the order that the cards are coming into our production studio, so maybe slightly different than the feed that you're seeing on your phone or your device, because they're coming from different sources. So there we have it. But it's my goal to do the cards for everyone this evening. So let's have at it. So I'm going to start with Rob Coulter. Some of you know him as Rob Kendall. So Rob, your card this evening, I'm going to see if I can get it up there. I'm going to have a little trouble tonight because I'm not in my zone, my normal zone. How about right there? All right. So that's the discernment card, dear. This is a fun card. So the discernment card is that energy of when we have to really analyze something. Often when I see the discernment card, it means that we're getting conflicting stories or not full information. And so it's really, what I'm feeling is this curiosity that it's going to be important for you to intuit what is true for you. We get into this place where, we think our truth is the only truth, but we all interpret events in different ways. So in the discernment process, it's not just blindly accepting someone else's truth as your own, but checking in and discerning whether that is true for you as well. And sometimes this is something new that's in the moment, or something, or an old belief pops into your awareness and you're like, wow, I'm not sure I really believe that anymore. And so really doing some checking in. So I keep touching. And so it's like, check in with your gut. Have your gut guide you this next week. And I know you know how to do that, but we also can get very analytical or in our head about things, and we try to figure it out or whatnot. And that can create a lot of ungrounded spinning energy. So what I'm seeing for you is that as conflicting things come up, really just gut test for yourself what is your truth. It doesn't mean if it's the truth for everybody, but stay aligned with your truth and you'll be able to stay in harmony and balance this week. Okay? Don't hand over your truth to someone else. All right, Rhonda. Let's see what we've got for Rhonda. Good evening. So your card, my dear, is the Brilliance card. Hoping you can see that. Sorry, I'm in a different space tonight, so I'm making do with how that's flowing. So your card's the Brilliance card. I mean, hello. So Rhonda, this week, what your team is saying is it's time for you to really shine who you are. We all have our own spark. We all have our own strengths. We all have our own things that we're really good at and that we love to do. And that is how you bring brilliance and light out into the earth plane. Other people need you to shine your light so they can remember how to shine yours. So how can you shine your brilliance this week? What are ways where you can be even more fully Rhonda out loud? So I see like you've got like this little dimmer switch and cranking it up so that your light becomes brighter. It's not that your light's been turned out. It's like, how can you shine brightly this week? Because there's some people who really are going to need it. There are times when we're meant to be the light, and there are times when other people's light help guide the way for us. So this is your week to be the light, the beacon for other people. So I would ask yourself every day when you're getting ready for the day, like, how can I be brilliant today? And then see what unfolds, because that sounds like fun. All right. Ellen. Hello, my dear Ellen. Your card is the magnetism card. And the magnetism card is all about remembering that we're a magnet. Whatever's coming at us in our life, we're calling to us from our magnetic state. So, if you're having things come to you that you love, keep doing that. If you have things coming to you that you're not fond of, well, then change your magnet, right? So changing your magnet is aligning your energy. You've done some classes on the law of attraction, right? And in the law of attraction, we attract what we put out. So, if you want loving, positive energy to come your way, you have to put loving, positive energy out there. So it's just a reminder that, and this is a great message for all of us, that when we're not enjoying what's going on in our life, to stop and take a moment to realize that somehow we're sending out that signal to the universe that that's what we want. And all we have to do is change the channel. And most of the time that happens just when we start to become aware. We're aware of, this is not what I would like to create. So how do I shift my energy to create what I would like in my life? So start owning your magnet, and see how that brings different things to you than you've been expecting. Nice. All right, let's see. Martina, hello. Of course you can have a card. So this card is the preservation card. And I know it's a little hard because it's, sometimes people get creeped out because it's a skeleton. But the skeleton is holding, there's a baby in that womb inside there. So in the preservation energy, what I often notice is that it's time for us to caretake our inner child. Sometimes, the inner child gets cranky, it gets bored, it gets, angry or frustrated that it's not being seen or heard. And so to preserve that aspect of ourselves, that wonder, that joy, that creation energy, we need to find ways to nurture our inner child. I spend a lot of time with clients and students helping them find ways to become the parent, become the parent of your own inner child. Because now we can, right? Now that we're adults and we're aware, we can actually parent our inner child. We can restore what our child needs. And so in that place, you may notice times when you're cranky and maybe you're tired, or you need something to eat, or you need some exercise, or maybe you're getting really bored because you've been stuck inside and you need to get some exercise and to dance it out or something. So pay attention to those signals, and our inner child is very good at controlling our mood. And our inner child is very good at sabotaging. It really calls on the saboteur. So, if we sabotage our eating, our exercise, or our sleeps, lots of times the inner child wanted attention and we dragged it out. So find some ways to connect with your inner child, listen, and you'll find that restores a lot of inner balance, and you'll start to see that create balance around you. All right, have a great week. Minnie. Hello, Miss Minnie. Nice to see you. So nice. Your card is the repetition card. And I know for some people, they're like, what? I always see this as practice makes perfect. When we are, we're in a new energy, and that means we have the ability to recreate our lives. We can recreate it in every moment, but often with the turning of the wheel, we think about recreating. Well, this is what happened in 2019. This is what I would like to happen in 2020. How do I set that energy in motion? And so we need to get into the rhythm and the energy of what we want to create. And so that often takes repetition, because then we gain momentum. You do it and you do it and you do it and you gain speed. And sometimes for the repetition, it's just about creating a new spiritual practice, a new way that you go into the rhythm of your day. Notice things that aren't working and find things that fill you up to fill in the gaps. I know that's not coming out in very good sentences. I'm sorry. It's very spotty verbiage at the moment. I'm seeing a lot of pictures, and so it's hard for me to. So the way I'm seeing it is that you had an old rhythm at your old house in your old place, and you were comfortable in that rhythm. You are living in a completely different house, a different place, a different energy, and so to acclimate, you need to create a new rhythm for you, and you're acclimating in a lot of ways, but it's the creation energy that would like to get going and flowing. So find some ways to see what you can do on automatic pilot, and what you can expand, so that when we do the repetitive things, it allows space for the divine and spirit to drop in. There's the big message. All right. Thank you, dear. Sorry, that was spotty. All right, Julie. Nice to have you. So your card, my dear, is stretch. And the stretch card is very much that. We get comfortable where we are. And sometimes that's okay, but then we're not growing and we're not moving, right? So this is a week where you're being invited to stretch past your boundaries a little bit. Take one little uncomfortable step every day. And before you know it, you'll be in a new place. And that new place will start to feel more comfortable. But, you are ready for an expansion, and you are ready to grow. You are ready to stand in a fuller version of yourself. And so don't play it safe. You've been playing it safe. You and I have that in common. So it's time for you to really stretch, push those boundaries a little bit, your comfort boundaries a little bit, and you're going to be amazed to see what a huge amount will shift for you this year. I'm very excited. Good luck, sweetie. All right, Anne. Your card is the context card. And so the context card is to make sure that when we have miscommunication with others, it's often that we don't have the whole story, or we're given a piece of information out of context. So make sure that you really are clear in understanding where the information came from, and that you have all of the truth around it. So this is about you checking in with your intuition and hearing what is the truth behind the words. The best way I'm seeing it for you is that You get part of a sentence and you're trying to take action from part of the sentence, but you don't know that that part of a sentence came out of a paragraph, and it's really not even the theme of the paragraph. So it's that energy of, when people gossip and they give us, part of the facts and they don't know all of the facts, and then it's completely taken out of context. That's the type of thing that's coming up. So when it doesn't feel whole, when it doesn't feel complete, or it doesn't feel accurate, like your gut is like, ask questions and look for more information, because people can, jump to conclusions, but we don't have to jump with them, right? So that's really calling on you to call on your intuition in this week to really check in and be connected there. That makes sense? All right, my dear. All right, let me grab a sip of water, Deborah, and then I'll do your card. All right. So, Deborah, you have the potential card. I'm sorry, these cards, I can't get this clearer, but that's what happens when we're on the road. So the potential card is, there's a lot of hidden gems awaiting you. And in the hidden gems, it's the opportunities. Pay attention to the opportunities that get presented to you in this next week. And what ones will fill your inner child? Which ones will fill that part of you that allow you space to do something you love to do? When we're stuck doing things that we have to do and we don't get to do things we want to do, we get really cranky. And so there's this hidden potential this week that you can step out and be more you, maybe a part of you that you haven't expressed in a long time as well. And so there's, somebody's not going to out and out ask you, is what I'm seeing. It's going to come in a little bit sideways, but be on the lookout for potential things that will help you, bring you joy, and allow you to express parts of you that you've been neglecting or wanting to express for a long time. All right? So just pay attention. It'll be right there for you. All right, Jackie. Welcome. Glad to have you. So your card is dependability tonight. And the dependability card is, I really like this card. Sometimes it's hard to feel like you're dependable. But you're dependable for other people, and as a magnet, then you attract people who are dependable for you. So in this week, you're going to have some people that you're going to be able to lean on, who are going to be able to help you. Just remember to ask for help. And you're going to be able to be there for some other people who could use a helping hand as well. This is a week for you where joint collaboration is going to be big. And you don't have to worry about, somebody flaking out or something like that. It's very much a yin-yang kind of energy where you get to depend on someone, they get to depend on you, and in that symbiotic relationship, you're going to be able to do some wonderful things this week. So allow your heart to be open enough to depend on someone else. It's really hard for us to ask for help, but be willing to. All right? All right, Lynn. Hello, dear. Nice. The productivity card for you. So the productivity card, it means that you have a lot of creation energy flowing this week. So how are you going to use it? And, I get a little nervous sometimes with the productivity because that often sounds like there's a lot of doing. But what it's saying is that you have a lot of energy to get things done. And in that way, it's making the most of your time and the most of your energy. Like, you're not wasting time on things. You're not getting sidetracked. You're really able to get some things moving that there's been hesitation energy on. It has been a little slower than you've wanted. You're going to get a good little jump start this week. And so when you have this energy and you're going to have it for a week, it's great to grab on and get going with it because we know it can come in spurts. So just allow yourself space to choose the things, use that productive energy for the things that you really want to move forward, and don't use it for things that will have you spinning. How I'm seeing it is, don't choose the distractions. Choose what's going to make you happy, and really allow that energy to gather some speed and get going, because it sounds like you've got a lot ready to roll there. All right, my dear, have a good one. All right. Nathan, nice to have you on the show. So your card is motion. And the motion card is very connected to what we've been talking about, having some momentum, having some energy, having some creativity, but it also is connected. This particular card has some of the emotional component to it as well. So as things are flowing, your emotions are going to flow too. So when things need to change, sometimes there's old stuck memories, old stuck feelings that haven't been expressed that sort of come to the surface. So allow yourself some space to have that happen, and find ways to allow that energy to come out, that allow you to move forward. So, whether that's, allowing yourself space to cry, put a sappy movie on and let yourself cry it out. Or if you've got old anger, maybe, smacking a pillow or something, like banging the pillow on the bed or something that would allow you, and yelling, allowing you to voice those things. But whenever I move emotions through something like that, I make sure to fill with happiness and joy and love after. So then I turn on like funny music or funny movies or something that will make me laugh, so that I'm purging the stuck ones and calling in happiness and creativity, so that we don't just expel all the negativity and leave this empty hole where the energy was. Bring it in with joy and happiness. And that will help you move forward with the energy, the creation energy that wants to flow for you in this next week. So your motion will have a lot of emotion attached to it. So ride that out and do the best you can to let that flow. Let that go and let that flow. All right, my dear. All right, Kimberly. Hello, dear. Nice to have you here. So your card is the space card. I love how much she looks like the phoenix with all that fire around her. So the space card is very much like that, like you stretching out into who you're meant to be. And sometimes that takes physical space. Sometimes you need to create space in your environment. Sometimes you need to create space in your head or in your energy body, allowing yourself to release energy because it's been bottled up for too long. So in this space, it's, reminder that we often get boxed into too small of a container. It's not who we are. It's who others think we are. And then when we get stuck in that, we feel confined, and we need to break free, basically. So in that breaking free, sometimes it helps to create space in the space around us, but it definitely helps to create it within us as well. So it would be a great week for you to do some decluttering, but it'd also be fantastic to get some energy healing work. And this Saturday is the Healer Share at Trinity Healing Sanctuary. So you're welcome to come and get some healing and give some healing to make space for more room for you Saturday from 12 to 3. So we'd love to have you. All right, Jackie. Okay, so 2 cards popped up together. So they're telling me to show them together. So I'm seeing if I can. So she looks very similar in each card. It's the Perception card and the Alliance card. So what I'm getting for you around these 2 together is that the Perception card comes in when we need to clear up our perception. We need to expand our intuitive vision. And that means allowing all of the intuition to come in, what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, what we feel. All of that integrates into our perception. And so this perceived alliance with another is actually the difficulty, because it's perceived and it may not be in reality. So what I'm sensing around that for you is that you need to really check in with your intuition when you're in connection with other people, especially in a businessy, it just keeps coming up in an alliance relationship. But the way I see it is, like if you're in a business relationship and you think that you guys are on the same page, you really need to talk out every little detail, because you may not be. And that is true for any relationship. If you think your partner wants this, wants a puppy, and so you go get a puppy, and they're like, I didn't want a dog. I like other people's dogs, but I didn't want to take care of one. That's a misperception, right? It's like a form of miscommunication. So this is an energy where you feel like there's an alliance, but it may not be as strong as you think. So you want to really be checking in with your intuition, especially when you're interacting with others, because there's something a little off in one of your connections. That it's not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just that it's not what you think it is. And that can make things kind of difficult, and it can cause a lot of headaches down the road. So get some clarity in your connections with others. All right. Dinah. Hello, dear. So your card is the Time card. And the Time card comes up, we give away a lot of our power to time. We think that, oh no, I've only got this much time and I'll never get it done. And then that's what we create, right? So, but we also have the ability to stretch time, where you can say to your spiritual team, I need some help. This needs to get done now, and it needs to be done by this time. And I need your help in creating that. And when we get into a rhythm, we lose all sense of time, right? So it's inviting you not to have time be the reason you don't do things. don't victimize time like, it's all time's fault. I would have done it if I only had time. We do that and we believe that in the moment, but time can be an ally for us, and it can really be a way for us to remember that it's all relative. And when we use our energy in the fullest way that we can, then time really dissolves quite a bit. So I'm feeling like your relationship with time is you blame time for a lot of things. And it's time to let that go, because time can really help you, assist you in growing and doing what you want to do, if you allow it. All right. That's a good one for all of us, because we tend to do that with time. All right. Thank you, dear. So Joanne, your card, my dear, is the Shift card. And the Shift card is really about, energy is moving around you, and within you. And I mean, it's happening on a planetary level. But for you this week, there's going to be this sense of change, a shift in your perspective, a shift in your environment, and how we how we react to change is one of those things that's really important for us. So this is saying that, allow yourself to lean into changes, allow yourself space to shift. That will help you move out of that stuck feeling that you may have been feeling. And the shift is a good thing. Even if in the moment it doesn't feel great, what I'm seeing is that on the other side of the shift, you being able to breathe more fully, being more relaxed, having room for more happiness to come in. So if you can just do your best to lean into the shift, it's way better on the other side. Maybe that'll be enough to help you through that. All right, my dear. All right, Tina. Expectation card. She's looking off into the future, right? And sometimes we look off into the past too, right? So the expectation card is the waiting, where you're in a place where you're waiting right now. There are wonderful things coming your direction, but this is a time of peace and tranquility and releasing your own personal emotional things that may be going on. You're cleaning and clearing the way for brand new things to come in. And that's often how the new year begins, right? We have new dreams, new hopes that are ready to come to fruition. But we just need to be in a place to align with them. So in this place of waiting, because that's, I'm sure, difficult. It's difficult when we feel like, we got to hurry up and wait. Just know that you're calling some really lovely things toward you. They're just taking a little bit of time to align. And they're also giving you a little more room to heal. And give yourself time to do that. Give yourself space to do that. Give your heart permission to heal. And then some wonderful things will be coming your way. I love that for you, dear. All right, Jackie, I'm going to grab some water. So your card, my dear, this has been the theme tonight, is perspective. And the perspective card for you is that It's inviting you to take a higher look. So I'm seeing like you're up here and you're looking down, and not looking down on people like down the nose, but really getting to see the whole picture. When we are down and in it, right, we only see what's right in front of our face, and we can't always see all the things that are contributing to something. So what I'm getting for you is a similar theme to what's been coming in, is that you may not actually have all the information that you need. And so sometimes we have to take a step back and gather that information. You'll know when you need more information by that gut feeling that comes in. Yours feels like gut in the heart, like it might even like take your breath away or something. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that you don't have all the information. And so it's inviting you to take another look at it. And it also is in that energy of inviting us to take another look when we're at a stalemate with somebody. We're having a disagreement and we're both, stuck in our way is the only way. Sometimes it's good to bring in a third person to give a fresh perspective that maybe we haven't thought about. So this is your perspective, but it's also inviting in others' perspectives that you can listen to or not. It's not having them overrule your own intuition, but it's, again, that gathering of additional information. Sounds like we're going to have some miscommunication for a number of people this week. So make sure that we all check into our intuition. We all are making sure we have the whole story before we jump to conclusions, because that just leads to a lot of heartache on everybody's side. All right. All right. Thanks for that, Jackie. Let's see. Lisa, I believe, is next. Yes. Okay, good. So you have the ready but waiting card. Kind of like Tina. So the ready but waiting is a little more antsy than Tina's card, which means like you kind of got that like, let's go energy. I'm ready to go. But part of your energy right now is learning patience. It's saying that, yeah, you have all the tools that you need. There's nothing more that you need to learn. But you do need to learn to wait for the divine timing to come in. You can't rush it or make it happen. So we're so used to things being available at the click of a button that we don't always make space for divine timing. And that this is what's coming in for you, is that things are all lined up. There's nothing more for you to do except wait. And it's because the divine timing is coming together for you. It's like a lot of pieces coming together, but you don't have any control. And so sometimes that's part of the patience lesson, is when we don't have control of the energy and the circumstances, and we've just got to wait until it's ready. That's about learning to be patient and okay with that, and trusting that it really is okay and it really is coming. And that's just how your version is. But I'm feeling a lot of anxious energy, and do your best to breathe and ground that, because then it'll get here faster. All right. Okay. April. So April, your card is the Fragments card. And the Fragment card is very similar to what I was talking about for other people, which is there's like pieces of information that all come together to make a puzzle. But right now they're broken apart and you can't really even see what the puzzle's going to make yet. So please don't make your decisions from fragmented information. Gather more together till the picture is more clear, and really ask your spiritual team to help guide you, to provide you with more information for more clarity, clearer perception, because all of that will take the fragmented information and start to weave it back together. And again, you're going to need a little patience for it to come together in the way that you need it to. So I wouldn't make any big decisions this week because that energy is still coming in. You don't have all the information that you need quite yet for anything big. So make sure that you understand that the energy is, we're all getting pieces of information, but not the whole story. Just coming up over and over again. All right, April, thank you. Christina. All right, this is a good card for you. So this is the influence card, and see all the phases of the moon at the top. So what I'm getting for you right now is that you're really being influenced by the energy of the earth and what's going on around us right now. You're very much an earth warrior, so I understand that. So understand that, you know, the fires burning in Australia is the fire burning within your third chakra. So how are you maintaining your fires? Is it raging out of control, or are you bringing in the water energy to help calm, clear, and restore that? Because you're influenced by all of the earth energy, you're influenced by all the phases of the moon, and Saturday we hit our full moon again. So you can allow the earth energy to help you move forward more rapidly by leaning into how connected you are, rather than going into the, this is happening, and this is happening in me, and it's happening in the earth, and getting into the negativity and the worry. So it's like, instead, lean into the knowledge that you're interconnected, and how do you take action by using your influence, your ability to influence the earth's energy and the earth's energy to influence you. How do you lean into that connection and create a more balanced relationship? Because right now it's not fully in harmony at this moment. You are in your heart, but the rest needs to follow. All right, my dear. Okay. Angelica. Hello, nice to have you, dear. So your card, my dear, is the revision card. So the revision card is, interesting. So imagine you've written a story of yourself, and you've stuck to the story for a long time. Your spiritual team is saying it's time for a revision. So what that means to me, my interpretation of that, is that there's something that it's time for you to rewrite history, the Angelica history. And that can literally be, it's time for you to write the history. And it also could be that it's time for you to create a new version of yourself. So you've been Angelica, 2.0. Now maybe it's time to be Angelica 2.2. And so what does that mean? So think about what is ready for a revision, what is ready for a shift, what is ready for change. And it could literally be a written story revision change, but it also could be your personal saga, your personal legend that's ready for a new chapter and ready for some editing. Sometimes that means we've placed a lot of significance on something in the past when we have some amazing things that are ready to be created in our future. But we overemphasize the past, then we don't have enough energy to create the new thing in the future. Does that make sense? So look at that. And I'd be interested to hear which way that story goes. All right, have a beautiful one, dear. Carol. So your card is the formation card. So the formation card is great for you because that's about, everybody's had these fragmented pieces. Yours are coming together. And they're actually taking shape, taking form. So if things have been a little off kilter or have been, difficult navigating, they're going to actually start to have a little clarity this week. Things are going to start to become more clear, and you'll start to see what's shaping up. And so in that place, again, really tap into your intuitive connection and allow that energy to help shape what's forming. And remember that when we create from love, it's able to sustain its energy longer than when we create from fear. So use your heart as it's coming into formation. Pour your joy and your happiness and your love into what's forming for you, and it will be magical. I love that for you. All right, Angie. All right, yes, you can have cards. So your card is the balance card. And the balance card is it's time, things have to come into balance in your life. The physical and the spiritual, the masculine and the feminine, the light and the dark. We all have to walk that line, right? And we know when things are out of sync, we don't feel quite right. We feel a little, out of whack. So this is time for you to get more grounded and more balanced, more in your body, please. So you're tending to drift out. So make sure that you work on grounding a little better, because that will help you restore the balance. When we're out of our body, that's another way we can be out of balance. When we're out of our body, then it's hard for us to be in and actually receive and hear what we need to around that. So that's what you need to work on this week, is bringing balance in. Remember that anything that has to do with trees helps ground a lot, or the darker color stones, they help a lot. And for some reason, I'm hearing that I should give your friend Lori a card too. I don't know if she's with you or not, but my team's being pretty loud about it. So Lori's card is the moderation card. And so the moderation card is that, to do everything in small doses. We sometimes get worried about being excessive. We go big or go home. But this is inviting you to do little steps. And give yourself permission to do little steps, and that little steps will get you there in the long run. So you don't have to push yourself so hard. I feel like your energy is getting a little run down or exhausted from doing too much or like pushing too hard. So it's saying to keep doing what you're doing, but to maybe pull it back a little bit. So that you're not depleting your energy system the way that you have been. So Angie, if Lori's not with you, if you could let her know it's on the feed, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. All right, Marie. Hello, dear. Glad to have you in the house. So this is the core card, core. So look at how bright that heart is lit up, but she's holding her solar plexus. Her third eye is very lit up as well. So what this is saying is that when you are in your center and your heart is wide open, everything, all of your gifts, all of your ability just are exploding out of you. So when we're centered, when we're grounded, when we're in our core, we are in the divine flow channel. That's when everything flows to us and it flows through us. So there are people who are really good at pushing us out of our core. But I'm inviting you not to allow yourself to give your power away to them. And that's a message for all of us, right? Like people on ground, they are able to push our buttons in a particular way, and then we lose our connectedness. So keep checking in all week at your core. Make sure that you're in it. Make sure you're connected to your core and your heart. Then your intuitive energy will be wide open. You'll be really connected to your gifts, and it allows a lot of space for you to be relaxed and joyful. And I feel like that'll help you stay centered, even though you're going to be around a lot of people. All right. Neshi, nice to have you in the house on the other side of the screen, right? So your card is connection. Woohoo! So the connection card, it makes perfect sense for you. One, your own personal connection and really getting in the groove of that, and feeling the difference of that flow in this new decade. But also the connection that you're starting to create as you're shifting Star Nations and allowing it to grow and stretch in this new decade. You'll be connecting new people together. You'll be connected to new people. But this is, it's almost like divine networking is going on. I'm seeing like Spider-Man throwing out webs in all these different directions, but it's all connecting people to you and you to people who need you, and you as in Star Nations in particular. So there you have it. Go ahead and be the big connector. Thank you. All right, Andrew, I think you're next. All right, my dear. Nice card. So your card is the alchemy card. And the alchemy is all about transformation. And the palm chakra, often indicates, hands-on healing, using our abilities in that way. So remember that you can heal yourself, and that it is not a sign of weakness to reach out for healing when you need it, because you're going through a transformational process, as many of us are. And so we sometimes need a little help. We need to phone a friend. We need some grounding, and whatever else, we need to reconnect to our fire, if we're having trouble with that. But that's all part of the alchemical process. So remember that there's a lot of fire energy that wants to come through. And that's great, because that fuels our passion, fuels our desire, helps us create. But when our fire energy gets caught in old anger or resentment, then we can burn out in a way we don't want, or in a way that's not productive in our alchemical process or in our life in general. So it's learning to channel the depths of your fire into changing what you want to change in your life. And that might need a little guidance, assistance, coaching, or something. But remember, you don't have to do it alone. But it is all for you, and it's all about you, because it's your transformation. And as you transform you transform your environment, you transform your little corner of the world. So get to it. We need you to do it. All right, Brenda. Your card is center. We're having a lot of centering, grounding energy at the end of the evening tonight. So the centering energy is notice when you're out of whack. Notice when you feel anxious, nervous, agitated, frustrated. Then you've moved out of your center. And centering often involves a little bit of grounding, but it's very much connected to the breath. So if you as simple as that, it can be enough to realign your energy, rebalance you, and get you back into your centered place. And when we're in center, our perception is more open. We're able to access our intuition more easily, and we're able to communicate with our spiritual team more fully. So when any of those things feel off, then just take a deep breath and then blow out. And maybe do it a couple of them if you need to just really get yourself back into the present moment. Because we can get pulled out of the moment in anxiety or worry. And all of us can do that. And it's sometimes hard to get back. So just practice the breathing, sweetie, all right? Okay, Violet. Your card, my dear, is consistency. Nice job. So consistency is very similar to a card that I drew earlier, which was repetition. But consistency is you've been doing a lot of the right things. Not that there's wrong things, but things that really align with your energy you've been working on. Now it's a matter of building up repetition and consistency. It's great, it's great when we drink water and when we meditate and when we exercise and we do it for like 2 to 3 days in a row and we're like, woohoo, I've got this. But then day 4 comes and, we don't want to get out of bed or whatever. And it's the being consistent with it that allows it to pay off. And consistency helps us from sabotaging ourselves as well. So what I'm hearing for you is just, you've been doing all the right things. Just keep doing them and do the best that you can to be as consistent as you can. And don't beat yourself up if you lose a day here or there. It's the rhythm, getting your energy into the rhythm of creation. And that happens when we are deliberate with how we use our intention, our attention, and our focus. So there you have it, my dear. Just be consistent. All right, Taylor. Nice. Your card is efficiency. I could see that for you. So the efficiency is really about the part of it's time management. Part of it is about working smarter, not harder. And often that's gathering things together so that you're not wasting time, when we have multiple clients and we put them back to back. So we have one day where we do a bunch of healing all in one day because we're in that rhythm and we don't have to get back in it. We can just stay in the flow. The same thing happens when we're running errands. Like you have 5 different errands you could run on 5 different days. It's a trip back and forth, where if you decide, okay, today I'm running errands, and you start at the one that's the farthest away and you work your way home, you're being efficient about your time, about your gas, about, that this is how I'm going to get things done. So it's inviting you to find some efficiency in your strategy so you don't feel like you have so much, like you don't have time, because you have plenty of time. It's just some of it's getting used for things it doesn't need to. So fine-tuning your efficiency would be really helpful. It is for all of us. All right. Thank you, dear. Jacqueline. So Jacqueline, your card is the Clarity card. And down at the base, I don't know if you can see that, she's got an amethyst. It's in the hood. What is that called? I'm not going to remember the name of it. You know, when it's in the rock and you see all the crystals poking out. Anyways, it's all about clarity. And it's calling on the energy of the amethyst to help with that, because that's really in tune with the third eye and really with our intuitive. So what this one is talking about is it's not just clear perception. It's about having clear intuition, trusting your intuition, allowing your intuition to guide you, not allowing your brain or your ego to second guess what's coming in for you, releasing the need for validation from others. You know, what do you think about this? Just trusting that you're getting what you're supposed to be getting. And this is, you know, it's easy for me to say it as a, you know, here I am channeling it, I'm saying it, making it sound like it's super easy to do. It's not. And my physical human part of me, the Polly Joe part of me is like, it can be hard to trust it, because sometimes, you know, we get messages or information that it seems kind of out there, or it may be, we're like, really? Is that what you mean? And so, but that's us second guessing it. So do your best to really put a lot of faith and trust in what you're receiving this week. I would even maybe write it down, because I'm feeling like writing it would ground it. Sometimes it helps to have like a intuitive notebook. You know, I felt this and this is what happened, kind of thing. So it's allowing yourself to validate yourself without having to ask for validation from others, because not everybody's going to want you to use your gifts the way you're meant to, because they may be threatened by them. So there you have it, dear. Open. And I would use that amethyst. If you have any amethyst, I'd put it on this week and use it to help you gain that clarity. All right. Mary, nice to have you. So your card, my dear, is the friction card. And the friction card just is that, you know, we all have times when there's friction. It creates momentum for change. And so friction comes when you have two people's ideas don't match up. It's basic, that's the one that keeps coming up. So two people's ideas who don't match up and both feel very caught in their truth. So we have our own perception of what's true for us, and somebody else has a perception of what's true for them, and they may not be the same, even if we're talking about the same thing. And that doesn't mean one is right or one is wrong. Friction comes when neither one is willing to move. And that's because we're worried about caving, right? But in that friction, it's okay, because it's inviting us to take a second look at our belief systems, a second look at our truth to see if it's still true for us now. And when we do that, when we take that second look, it allows some of the friction to dissolve, because we can only control our side of the friction. We can't stop somebody else from being friction for us, but we can control our reactions to that other person. And that's what's happening, is when we're having friction, we're reacting to them rather than hearing, allowing, and then taking action. There's more breath involved in action than reaction. So that's kind of what's going to happen this week. So keep breathing through all of it and trust in yourself. And allow some space for your idea of the truth to expand. because maybe there's some middle ground if you allow that. All right? All right. Emily. So yours is reaction. I was just talking about that. So the reaction card is, when something comes at us and it hits our old wounds, our old hurts, our old anger, our own sadness, we will react to it. And with that old energy. And so you're being invited to pay attention to when it's your true feeling in the moment and only your true feeling in the moment, or when there's this energy of reaction that wants to activate. And that's just old emotional energy that wants to heal, which is great. Allow it space to heal. But that's when we talk about somebody overreacting. Oh my gosh, they overreacted to that situation. Well, it's because they had the feeling of the situation plus every time they'd ever felt that feeling before attached to it. So it can come on like gangbusters. And so when we have that, then we can see this pocket of healing that's ready to release. So reactions are an opportunity for growth and for healing. Be aware of them and just allow yourself some space to allow some old emotional energy to release and heal this week. It's wanting to detoxify, and you got this. You can do this. It feels better out than in. I'll tell you that for sure. All right, my dear. Have a good week. Cindy Lynn, glad you were able to make it. So your card is Fortitude, my dear. So the Fortitude card is that, it's reminding you that you have a lot of strength and resilience to take whatever comes at you. And in that fortitude, it's allowing things to happen in the environment around us, but it doesn't have to happen inside our inner environment. When we have our fortitude and our strength, we're able to walk through the chaos unscathed. And that's what it's inviting for you, that you don't have to get pulled out of yourself into the chaos that may happen around you. Instead, call on your inner strength, call on your fortitude, and walk in that energy instead. Because then the chaos sort of like bounces off of you down to the ground, and then it doesn't even have to impact you. So hang on to that strength and resilience. Call in that inner fierce warrior goddess to walk the path with you, and you will have some amazing stuff happen for you. All right. Thank you, sweetie. Crystal. So your card is the Revolution card. Boy, you guys at the end here, you got a lot of female warrior energy going on. So the Revolution card is basically saying there's going to be some energy where you're going to draw the line. Boundary setting is big for 2020. If you haven't already been working on it in 2019, it's saying enough's enough. And so there are times when we are like, I'm not putting up with this anymore. And other people had no idea we were putting up with it in the first place. So it takes them by surprise. And in that energy, other people may not be happy when we put our foot down. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't put our foot down. And this is saying that, your energy is enough's enough. And it's time for things to change. And you're the one to help create change. And it also may mean that you're being the voice for some other people who need change, who want change, but haven't had the strength or the willpower to stand up for themselves. And so I feel like this gathering of energy of enough's enough. And I'm not sure what that's about, But all I do know is that you have plenty of energy and strength and fortitude to tackle this and beyond. And there are a number of people behind you that are there to support you and to add volume to your voice. All right, go do it. All right, now Brienne. Woohoo! Brienne, yours is the heat card. Woohoo! That Phoenix of fire. A lot of fire on the planet right now. So the heat card is saying that your inner fire is ready to go. So this is the time when your creation energy is really active. So the creation is creating new things, new projects, new ideas. Whatever brings you happiness and joy, it's time for you to do some creation work around that, because that fire energy wants to be directed into something positive. You know, creating a garden, creating a new living space, creating a new book, a new idea, a new painting. It's using the fire and generating it into something beautiful and productive. When we let our fire take over, then it turns into anger and frustration and rage and all of that. That's when it's controlling us. So when you start to feel the heat of the fire coming in, it's because it's time for the creation energy to get flowing. Think about it wanting to flow like a river. So whatever drives your passion right now, allow your energy to just flow right through that, because there's some beautiful creation energy that wants to happen through that. All right. And then Cooper. Hello, Cooper. My production guru. Your card is the renewal card. Nice. So the renewal card is that the energy for you is, it is a new year, but it is a new time, a new you, a new outlook on things. So it's a renewed energy, and it's a new sense of purpose. It's very connected to new beginnings, and I know you've got some new beginnings that are happening, but this is sort of the renewal of your life force energy coming together to help with all this new creating energy. So that's really exciting, because it means that there's a lot on the horizon for you, which you deserve, and I hope you enjoy that. So that was the last card this evening. So thank you for watching Soul Connections and staying here with me, your host, Polly Jo Labbe, as part of Star Nations Radio Network. I will be on tomorrow night for chakra sessions. I don't do readings, but I do energy work. So if you want to know how to clear your perception, tomorrow's show is all about how to have 2020 vision in the year 2020. And also Ed Langen, his show is tomorrow at 4 p.m. And it's always a fantastic time as he calls in how we can create our own lives. So there were a lot of you who are wanting to create your own lives, or a number of you needing clear perception. So tune into Star Nations tomorrow at 4 and at 7. And we'll see you here for Soul Connections next week. And with that, guys, have a nice night. Bye.